Hello, welcome to the Self Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Chapter 2, Terms, Concepts and their use in Sociology. The previous chapter introduced us to an idea both about society as well as sociology. We saw that a central task of sociology is to explore the interplay of society and the individual. We also saw that individuals do not float freely in society, but are part of collective bodies like the family, tribe, caste, class, clan, nation. In this chapter, we move further to understand the kinds of groups individuals form, the kinds of unequal orders, stratification systems within which individuals and groups are placed, the way social control operates, the roles that individuals have and play, and the status they occupy. In other words, we start exploring how society itself functions. Is it harmonious or conflict ridden? Are status and rules fixed? How is social control exercised? What kinds of inequalities exist? The question, however, remains as to why do we need specific terms and concepts to understand this? Why does sociology need to have a special set of terms when we use terms like status and rules or social control anyway in our everyday life? For a discipline such as, say, nuclear physics that deals with matters unknown to most people and for which no word exists in common speech, it seems obvious that a discipline must develop a terminology. However, terminology is possible even more important for sociology, just because its subject matter is familiar and just because words do exist to denote it. We are so well acquainted with the social institutions that surround us that we cannot see them clearly and precisely. For example, we may feel that since we live in families, we know all about families. This would be conflating or equating sociological knowledge with common sense knowledge or naturalistic explanation, which we have discussed in chapter 1. We also found in the previous chapter how sociology as a discipline has a biography or history. We saw how certain material and intellectual developments shaped the sociological perspective as well as its concerns. Likewise, sociological concepts too have a story to tell. Many of the concepts reflect the concern of social thinkers to understand and map the social changes that the shift from the pre-modern to modern entailed. For instance, sociologists observed that the simple, small-scale and traditional societies were more marked by close, often face-to-face interaction, and modern large-scale societies by formal interaction. They therefore distinguished primary from the secondary groups, community from society or association. Other concepts like stratification reflect the concern that the sociologists had in understanding the structured inequalities between groups in society. Concepts arise in society, however, just as there are different kinds of individuals and groups in society, so there are different kinds of concepts and ideas. And sociology itself is marked by the different ways of understanding society and looking at dramatic social changes that the modern period brought about. We have seen how, even in the early stage of sociology's emergence, there were contrary and contesting understandings of society. If for Karl Marx, class and conflict were key concepts to understand society, social solidarity and collective conscience were key terms for Emile Durkheim. In the post-World War II period, sociology was greatly influenced by the structural functionalists who found society essentially harmonious. They found it useful to compare society to an organism where different parts have a function to play for the maintenance of the whole. Others, in particular the conflict theorists influenced by the Marxism, saw society as essentially conflict ridden. Within sociology, some tried to understand human behavior by starting with the individual, that is, micro interaction. Others began with macro structures such as class, caste, market, state, or even community. Concepts such as status and role begin with the individual. Concepts such as social control or stratification begin from a larger context within which individuals are already placed. The important point is that these classifications and types that we discuss in sociology help us and are the tools through which we can understand reality. They are keys to the open locks to understand society. They are entry points in our understanding, not the final answer. But what if the key becomes rusted or bent or does not fit the lock or fits in with effort? In such situation, we need to change or modify the key. In sociology, we both use and also constantly interrogate or question the concepts and categories. Very often, there is considerable unease about the coexistence of different kinds of definitions and concepts, or even just different views about the same social entity. For example, conflict theory versus functionalist theory. This multiplicity of approaches is particularly acute in sociology, and it cannot but be otherwise, for society itself is diverse. In our discussion on various terms, you will notice how there is divergence of views and how this very debate and discussion of differences helps us understand society. Now let us wind up the session, and thank you very much for engaging yourself with the Self Learning podcast.